I'm a pastor, an artist, an author, a scholar, and a conversation. Welcome to Chatfest with Kenneth. Hello, and thank you for another episode of Chatfest with Kenneth. And my guest today we actually are going to talk about a very pro-social topic. We are going to talk about being HIV positive. And my guest is going to be an avenue for enlightenment, because he is an activist in that area. So definitely I'm looking forward to this. And let's go. And here is my guest for today. He actually told me you know what? Tell us your name, because I don't want to tell the story. You tell us your name, and I'm going to tell my story.
Well, my name is Derrick, but I go by Strawberry.
Exactly. Because he made sure he emphasized, like, call me Strawberry. And so I read his text, and I was like, why is he insistent on me calling him Strawberry? And then I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, I know why. So, Mr. Strawberry.
Yes.
I'm gonna just go out on the limb here. Did you? Because I know there's a day called Ginger's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I just recently found out about the way or kick a ginger or something day or whatever. I'm like, what in the world? Like, you just walk around and you see a ginger and go kick him? Like, what?
I don't know about that part. I know people was like, can they rub my head?
Honestly, I'm not making it up. Google it.
I believe you.
It's like there's a kick a ginger day. And I'm like, what in the world? So I say that to ask, did you ever get any negativity for what you're genetically natural with for?
Yeah, before I was being judged for being gay, I was definitely just being judged and made fun of for being a redhead. And, so I had to deal with how I looked, because people didn't know if I was black or if I was white. And, so that already within there was confusing. But outside of it, I got more positive than negative, but there was still like a bunch of negativity within and around versus the outside.
And first of all, is the term ginger, is that politically correct or not? Am I using a derogatory term?
Well, you know what? I've never, because mostly old heads,
people,
wiser,
old heads like me,
our wiser generation, they call me Ginger outside of Strawberry. Some of them call me Strawberry, but some of them call me Ginger. And I was like, it's a spice. I'm cool with it. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Because I just assumed, I was like, ginger, and I'm like, wait, hold up. I don't even know if my term that I'm using is an appropriate term or not.
I never knew if it was inappropriate or not, but I was like, it's our time. We're gingers. It's fine.
And secondly, since you brought it up, I'm gonna go with you. I remember seeing your picture, and I was like, white or black? And I looked at the picture. I was like, nah, that's a brother right there.
Yeah, I am black, white, Puerto Rican, and Irish.
Okay. So I guess, are you the one of like when you're filling out your form, do you put other? Do you check other?
Yep, I check other. I don't click black or white. I check other. Or if it got multiracial, I check that box.
Yeah, because you are multiracial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we already figured out how you came about your name. Now, we're just going to dive right into it. No, we're not going to tiptoe around it. Let's just go.
Sounds
good. How did you discover that you were positive?
So I discovered I was HIV positive when my best friend, she needed to go to the doctor because, she was a little freelance with her body. We all love sex.
Freelance, I like that one.
And she felt like she had something and she was nervous and scared. I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And so I went with her and we just found out that she had a yeast infection. And I found out that I was HIV positive. So,
Wow.
when the doctor told her, I was like, well, what about me? And she was like, oh, you HIV positive. She just said it and waved it off. She assumed that I already knew. So
Whoa.
mind you, we just went to a random hospital and
Whoa.
test. So, I mean, I definitely got, that certification from my doctor to make sure I was actually positive. So I got tested again. And when I found out it was legit that I was positive, then I took the necessary steps. But I
Okay, okay,
definitely
wait. Oh,
Oh no,
wait, wait,
I got her fired. Don't worry, I got her fired.
okay, wait. So when you got, because that's a heavy news. First of all, when was this?
March 11, 2011.
Okay, 2011. So that's like 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Okay,
right?
I'm good in math. Yeah. Okay, so 9 years ago, which is I guess yeah, it's a little weird. That was kind of like a progressive era. So, but you have this heavy news. Did
hmm
you take it and was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna just see my doctor and get pills, or did you be like, or did you be like, oh my God, my life is over? What was your response?
So when I first heard it, I was surprised at first because my body is my sanctuary, my temple, and I've done my best to
Right now,
protect myself,
all right.
and outside of me being shocked and surprised, my best friend kind of like stole the shine because she was just doing all this crying. She was like, you're too nice. You do too much for everyone. Like, I don't understand how this could happen to you. And I'm like, well, HIV don't determine, just because you're nice or loving, it can
Okay.
happen to anybody.
I'm knocking on your door like, hello, you
you
nice? Okay, I
know.
can come in.
But outside of that, because I went through more than I figure I went through something way worse than HIV. So I called my mother. My mother was the first person I called and told her that I was HIV positive. I found out. And she was like, oh, well, you've been through worse. You'll be all right. And I was like, yeah, my sentiments exactly. So,
I'm gonna go there, right? When you
oh,
say
good. Go ahead.
when you say you went through worse, what do you mean?
So, in my younger years, I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been
Okay,
molested, as they say. I don't want to, use the term rape, so I'm just gonna stick with
okay,
molested.
all right, gotcha. Okay, so that's the
you know?
context from which you're talking. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I've been through worse than just, fine. I was like, oh, you know what? I can take a pill every day. I'll be all right. It'd be my men's one-a-day pill. It's like a vitamin. I got you.
Okay, so with your with the trajectory of your life, like where you're coming from, did
hmm
you seek professional help or counseling regarding whatever you had gone through before?
So no, actually I haven't. A lot of people thought I used to be in therapy. Not saying anything's wrong with it. If you need therapy, I recommend it to everybody. Most times I recommend it to people. I'd be like, get therapy before you need therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of the stuff I've been through in my life, I just acknowledged what happened and I took accountability for, who did what, where I took blame in or what I could have done better. And I just move on forward. I accepted what happened and I just move on forward from it since I
That
lived
sounds
it.
that sounds like a very proactive response, not a reactive. So I'm trying to figure out, have you always been proactive? Like, how did you get that awareness? Like, oh, I got this dysfunction that happened to me. I'm gonna just be proactive and just tell her.
So real short version, I grew up in the hood. I was always made fun of for being, redhead, feminine, white or black. So I was always going through a motion of something, and it's always
Okay,
been, I was always surrounded by negativity. So I always tried to
okay,
find the bright side of literally everything outside of everything I went through. And, you know, you can't pick and choose your family, but I
that
grew
is
up
true.
with a not so supporting and loving family either. So I didn't have no help on the inside or the outside. My friends was my comfort zone once I
Okay,
was able to get around them. So
okay,
once I found the backbone, as you say, I stuck to it because I had to learn how to love myself. So once I was able to learn how to love myself, all those words and what people did to me, it was easier to overlook it, you know.
so I guess that's what I'm trying to zero on. What was there something that was a catalyst that initiated you learning to love yourself or finding your backbone?
So it was different levels. I can definitely say it was different levels of learning how to love myself because it was different points in my life where I felt like I did truly love myself, but then something someone did or something someone said would trigger this anger or this terrible action or response out of me, and I'm like, still got work to do. So it's like I had to go through these different trials and tribulations because I had to find out why I still was so angry or why did
Okay.
I let these words get to me or why did I let whatever they did get offend me so much. So, and I had to dig deep and I had to understand that if I truly want to own my own individuality and accept myself for who I am as a true individual, I had to learn that I'm not going to look like nobody else. And I really had to accept myself and be okay with people not accepting who I am or what I look like or what I bring to the table.
Okay.
So I truly had to dig deep, and I was like, you know what I do, how I do it, and how I present myself, that's it. Whether I get a negative or positive response, that's it. I did what I wanted to do, and that's all I could do. And I had to be okay with that.
So that means by the time you got your diagnosis, you already had a framework of.
Yeah, I already been through my epiphany stage, as they say.
No, don't pull the words out of my mouth. That is the right word to use. Epiphany stage. Yes, you already. Okay. So, were you never were symptomatic?
No.
Okay, so you just found out, and then you started taking your medication. Did you ever have to process the reality of being HIV positive, or was that just something that seamlessly flowed along?
No, I definitely had to process it. It wasn't easy because one, I don't like taking pills. I suck at taking pills. I choked on a Skittle one time back in my younger days, and I fed off all small candies like Skittles, M&Ms, Tic Tacs, anything that was small you could eat. I was like, no. Yes, I was like, no, because it was like one of those terrifying moments. Like I almost died from a Skittle. It was so crazy. One of them little flashback moments. Like, is this it? Like,
Oh my God, I'm dying from Skittles.
So, and since then I had a fear of, eating small things. Like it had to be big. So telling me that I was HIV positive, I was okay with the news, but then I had to accept now I have to take this pill every day. And it was very hard for me to swallow these pills, mind you. Like no matter how many tricks people tried to help me with, like putting a pill in the back and then drinking something or, throwing it back there and drinking it or putting it in your tongue and letting it just go down with the juice or whatever you drink. Like I tried it all and it wasn't working. It's like the liquid would go right around that pill. My throat would close up and be like, you're not going nowhere. And even if it attempted to go down, I like hold it back out and I end up throwing up. I'd be like, you know what? We got to get it down. Because I couldn't let it dissolve. Because like, it's a point where if you taste these HIV meds, if you taste the actual medication on your tongue from it being wet too much, it is so disgusting.
Oh, really?
So disgusting. And you just can't wait that long, basically. And I can't take it with water. I praise everyone that could take any of these meals with water. I take mine with orange juice. So at first I was taking it with strawberry milk, but I am lactose intolerant. So that was it was hurting me from the inside out, but it was easier to go down because you know how milk kind of like lube up your throat. So
I had to say that. I'm sorry.
So I'm trying to explain the best way I can. But I had to accept the fact that I had to take this meds every day, and I just had to find a comfortable size pill. So I used to tell my doctor, I was like, look, I praise you for the 1-a-day pill. I just need something that's smaller. Okay. And so I'm on Biktarvy now. It's a small little pink pill, and it got everything I need. I could just throw it back there. I take a deep breath, and then I take a drink, and I just let it slide right down my throat. I ain't gonna lie, I hold my breath. I got my own little routine.
What I'm hearing you say is you identified what your issues were regarding the process of normalizing living with HIV. You normalized it and you realized, okay, there are some issues here with normalizing this, and you had to find a way to address it.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then you also worked directly with your medical health provider.
Yeah, so my doctor, she was my doctor before I became positive. So we've had a strong relationship long before HIV was in the picture.
Okay. So, and part of living with HIV, okay, let me say it a different way. Part of living with taking medication daily is sometimes it becomes so much of a routine that it becomes unconscious. Yep. Where it's almost like remote control, or like just like driving a car, you drive past a house, you don't even notice the house. So do you ever find that sometimes you don't know if you've taken a pill or not?
No, I know sometimes I do miss a dose, but that's only because I take my pill generally at 11 o'clock at night. So
So
if
you
I
made a
know,
point of taking it at a specific time.
yes.
Why?
So I take mine at a specific time because around 11 o'clock, I know that or I definitely know I've already ate. And then I know for sure if I'm going out or not. So 11 o'clock is good for me. I can take it and we good to go.
Okay. Okay. So, were you? I think you just made an inference here. You didn't always were committed to taking it regularly. How
No,
did
I
you?
wasn't.
So, how did you overcome that hump?
So I learned that, at certain points of time, if I knew I was going out or if I was already drinking prior, then I wasn't going to mix liquor with my meds because I've already learned that horrible experience when you mix liquor with your HIV meds.
Okay.
It is definitely a painful inside experience that
Oh,
no one wants to go through.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So once I went through that, and it only took one time, I, I definitely was like, yeah, yeah, never again, never again. Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
stick to this time, and you can drink. And I tell this to people, when you do take your meds, you could drink 3 hours either before or 3 hours after you taking your HIV meds.
All right. So let's start debunking myths about HIV.
All right.
One, are you ready? It's like, yeah, bring it. So, one, the stigma of it. Is there, is it a death sentence? Is it, oh, you got this and your life is over? Or can you live a normal, healthy life and be HIV positive?
Well, you can definitely still live a human, beautiful, healthy life and be HIV positive. You can be undetectable as long as you stay on your meds. You can be untransmittable as long as you stay on your meds. You don't like using condoms, just make sure your
Oh,
partner is
we gonna go there.
Oh, okay. So I ain't gonna dig too much in it,
Don't
but
dig it
you
out
can
because we gonna go
you can
there.
still live a healthy life. But unfortunately, stigma still does exist, no matter how long we've come to even, like I said, a one pill regimen. And
Uh-huh.
to people being, undetectable, stigma still exists. People are still scared of being HIV positive, and it's still looked down upon, regardless of who they know, who they love. Like I said, a lot of people know who I am, and they love my spirit, and they love my energy, and they love what I do for the community. But I still have that issue where it's still hard to date me because I'm HIV positive, and everyone knows that I'm HIV positive. So if you're with me or you choose to be with me,
That
then
means
you're seen to be you're stigmatized as being positive too because you're dating me. And a lot of people, and not necessarily saying it's a good or bad thing, but a lot of people see that as a bad thing. So it's still got its weight that it carries with it,
so. What do you
unfortunately.
think? So the stigma, is it that, what is the stigma? Like, is it that this person, there's a death sentence hanging over this person, or this person has something that is toxic? Like, what exactly do you think that stigma is?
Well, I'm gonna take the death portion out of it now, because since we come a long way, and
Exactly.
I'll just still bring in the stigma of just to being nobody wants to become HIV positive. It's still that fear behind it, like oh, you positive, like you cool, but I ain't trying to go down that road with you type situation scenario. Like I don't want that for myself.
Okay.
Even though, like I tell a lot of people, we all have one night stands or that drunk sex, that high sex, whatever sex you want to call it. We've all had sex with somebody that was probably positive and you didn't even know. We don't ask about it, nobody's status. We all love to
Oh no,
feel
they when they ask the person, oh no, I'm negative. Oh, he said he was negative. Everything is cool.
exactly. And most of
So
us
this
don't even know
person,
our
why would
most
this
of us don't know.
person? Why you trust this person? What this person say? Why is your life dependent on what this person say?
Exactly. And most of us don't know our own status because we don't check on it.
Okay.
So
All right. Then next question. Okay, so you're HIV positive and you're out of the closet with it.
mm.
Somebody who is negative, should they be concerned if they were dating somebody who's positive?
No, they shouldn't be concerned. I just say, you should just still be careful. As long as we're always open and honest with each other. Like no matter who I date, I'm always open and honest with everyone. Like I don't, even though, like I said, even though everyone knows me, I still don't assume that everyone remembers all my information. So I still let people know from the beginning, like I'm HIV
No.
positive, I'm undetectable. I'm letting you know now.
Okay, so I guess that, so when do you tell the person, like, okay, so you met somebody, And yeah, I was walking on the street. The person was on the other side of the street. He was like, "Hey, strawberry," like, "Hey, cutie," and then you cross over, and then yeah, talked. I was like, "Oh, you sound interesting. Let's hang out." Did you just say, "By the way, I'm HIV positive"?
Well, I definitely throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that show interest in me, and we start talking or chatting, and we want to get to know each other. I'm like, I love long walks on the beach. I love seafood. My favorite color red. I am HIV positive. I need to make sure you know that though. I'm like, you know that, right? You know what I'm saying? Most times, some people say yeah, others be like, oh no, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, yeah, I am, and I want you to know that everyone knows
So you
about
get
it.
it. So you get it into the conversation as quickly as possible.
Yes, I ripped that band-aid right off because look, we need
You know what? You just
think
said
about it
something
right
very
now.
important. Because I know some people say they don't know when to bring it in. But you
Yeah.
wait too long. Like, okay, now you don't like this person, but you don't want to like tell this person this big old secret. So I'm gonna tell him later. Like, when exactly you gonna tell him? When you're about to take your clothes off or what?
I mean, I can understand it's a time and a place, when they do want to tell somebody or come out the closet or reveal their secret to another person because they don't know if they can trust this individual or they don't know if they can really feel comfortable enough with this individual, if they don't know if that individual going tell their business and they don't want everybody else to know. So it's always that fear. It's fear on both sides, from a negative person and from a positive person. Opening up, being honest, sharing that information, how it's going to be received, how it's going to be displayed. So it's always that continuous outthought of what's going to happen next or what they're going to do once they get mad or rejected or if they find out, so it's that always if.
So then that means say, which is I guess is similar to sexuality, I guess. So
Yeah.
say the person is in the closet with their status, then how do they tell somebody without fear of the secret becoming public? Because it's like how does that work then?
Well, for most people, when I tell, because I got a few mentees of my own, because I mentor a
Yes,
few
that's why we're
people.
talking to you.
For most people, I tell them, you always want to start with your close support team, like whoever your support system is.
But you have to have support system first of all.
Yeah, it's best if you have a support system. Regardless of what you're going through, whether it be HIV, diabetes, cancer, like you need a support
Good
team.
point.
Yeah. So, and once you're surrounded with your support team, you have people you can be comfortable and trusting and open with. Then outside of that, once you're able to tell someone, then you're able to tell someone else. But it's all about initially being open and honest with yourself. Like I tell people, I want you to accept the fact that you're HIV positive. I know you don't want to hear it, you don't want to accept it, but I want you to accept it. I need you to accept it. I need you to acknowledge it. Because once you're able to do these things, then taking your pill won't be a problem. Going to see your doctor won't be in your problem. Wrapping it up, if you do choose to have sex, however you want to, won't be a problem.
Okay.
And if you don't want to have sex, if you don't want to wrap it up when you have sex, then I just need you to become undetectable.
Okay.
I don't never encourage.
We can go there. You keep going there.
Oh yeah.
You keep going there. We go get there. Don't drag me there.
Okay, but in all actual, like I tell people, if you want to tell the person that you're with that you're HIV positive, just make sure that you're comfortable with them and that y'all do have an open dialogue and y'all can be honest with each other. Okay. And if you're honest and you completely open with yourself, then you won't mind telling them that you're positive, and you definitely won't mind if they tell somebody else that you're positive. Well, because you already know. Yeah, but exactly. Okay. And I tell everybody, you know your situation, so can't nobody ever throw nothing in your face that you yourself has already been through. And I never understood how people can, feel offended or get mad when somebody throws something, I guess, personal in their face. Like you can't throw it in my face that I used to strip. I know I used to strip. You can't throw it in my face that I was an escort. I know I was an escort.
Like, an escort?
I was a few things. I had a very exciting life.
Oh, okay.
And and I'm never gonna feel offended for anyone. Like I had my little porn star. I had my one video out there, and I didn't feel bad about any of it. Like these are decisions I decided to do. Regardless of what I did to do it or why I did it, that was my decision to do it.
But wait, Strawberry. I think there's one little caveat that I will need to address. Like you, for example, you had your epiphany moment. So you had your way of processing trauma and how to psychologically do whatever you need to do in your head to walk
Mm-hmm.
through it. But not everybody is equipped like that. So for
That's
some
true.
people, when they hear, "Oh, you're HIV positive," it's like, "Oh my God, I need to jump off a bridge." Then mental
Yeah.
illness comes, mental health issues come in, depression comes in, they become
Mm-hmm.
suicide ideation comes in and stuff like. So for somebody who there is a turmoil going on inside with, so there's a battle with contending with that news.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy process to say deal with it and hey. So sometimes denial is easier,
Oh yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
lying is easier. So for somebody like that, in since you're the expert, for somebody like that, what would you suggest the person? How do they move forward? Do they stay stuck? Do they jump off a bridge? What do they do?
So, as we all know, life is not perfect. And, I've lost a few people, to the HIV, because no matter how far we've come, like I said, accepting it, like you said too, is not always the easiest. Some people feel disgusted. They feel just downright dirty, like they'll never find love. They'll never be wanted or desired because they're HIV positive. And some people can't live with the fact that they do have to take a pill every day just to stay healthy or whatever. So it's a lot of turmoil that goes on in the mind, and some people dig deeper than they need to, and sadly we do lose them to depression or suicide or drugs, and it's sad. But for the most part, the only thing I could try my best to do is just be there when you want me to be there. Because even though I try to be there, if you don't want me to be there, no matter how hard I try or no matter what I do or say, it's not going to get to you.
You can take the hospital train.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm all about tough love. I'm very much about tough, aggressive love, but it still won't be received if you
That
don't
is
want me. So I try to make sure no matter who I meet or no matter however you identify, because I've met gay, straight, lesbians. I met so many different varieties of people who are HIV positive or end up being HIV positive. And I just want everyone to feel comfortable and safe around me. And want you to be able to let me know if you're having a bad day or if you are having dark thoughts or if you do feel like being suicidal. I'm not no one's therapist, and I explain that to everyone. I'm not your therapist, I'm not your counselor, but I can get you the help that you want and need, but you have to want it first. Whatever you want, I can help you get. I'm a resource. Utilize me. And that's
okay.
what I'm here for.
Okay. Wait, what was that term you used on your friend? I'm trying to remember it. Anyway, I guess I'm watching this video and remember it. There was a term you used. I think she was promiscuous, and there was a term you used to describe it.
Oh, she was very freelance. She was very
Freelance.
Yeah.
I try to remember that one.
Freelance.
Okay, so now let's go to the sex part. So the one thing that people always say is, "Oh, condoms suck." So they want to have that feeling of skin to skin.
Mhm.
And so I guess I can risk it this one time. Okay, now I'm gonna risk it this one time. And before you know it, you risked it for the past 3 years.
Okay.
So how do you talk to someone, play safe, even though in their mind, raw is heaven?
So with most of my group, when I start off in my group sessions, not everybody likes, everyone don't like to use condoms. And like I said, this is a judge-free zone. Like we don't judge anybody. So if you want to have unprotected sex and you know that you're HIV positive, in actuality, I would want you to give that person a choice to use unprotected sex with you as well. But as long as you know for sure that you are undetectable and untransmittable, then I will say, as long as you know that you're healthy and you're still protecting them as well as yourself in some form of way, then that's okay. But overall, I educate everyone that's positive or not that condoms are a great thing. There's so many different types of condoms, and I just recently did a video. It is. It definitely is. I I recently did a video with one of our nonprofit organizations here called Impulse DC. Like we was talking about condoms, and it's so many different types of condoms. And I let everybody know that one of my favorites is called the ultra thin condom. Like it's a thin condom. It still barely feel like you have on anything, and it's like you're having condomless sex. But yeah, a condom is involved, but it still feel like you digging in raw. So I mean, as long as you can try things. You know, it's various things you can try.
Okay. So because it is a mental thing, honestly. Simply is a mental thing. It's just that mental thing that, oh, I got a rubber here, and then so the mind has switched off. And so it's basically learning to normalize having a rubber.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just for like people that take PrEP, you know, they feel like since they take the PrEP pill, that they feel like that's like their invisible condom. They don't need it.
Well, can you also explain to people watching what PrEP is?
So PrEP is a drug that you can take. It's a pre-prophylactic drug that you can take to prevent yourself from becoming HIV positive if you do choose to have unprotected sex.
So that's for negative.
Yes, that's only if you're negative, but it only protects you from HIV. It don't protect you from STIs. You can still get infected with any STI. So you still have to go to the doctor and get checked. If you choose,
whatever is out there.
Yes, like if you choose to still be promiscuous, that's fine. Live your best life. Just get checked. That's all. And I tell people, like, no matter how free you want to be, you can get slutted out by 10 guys a day if you want to. That's fine. Live your best life. Just go get checked. That's it.
Okay. So, manner of contraction. Because I still find out that in this day and age, some people still don't know how. Some people are stuck in Stone Age.
I call it La La Land.
Okay, La La Land. They don't understand how they contract. They think, oh, if I kiss you, I'm gonna catch it. Or so let's go through the process. We're gonna go step by step. So you meet a cutie and y'all kiss. And one is HIV positive and is not undetectable. Is the person kissing him in danger?
No.
Okay. So then they do heavy petting. They pet each other, lick each other's body, whatever. Is the negative person in danger?
So it's a 70-30% chance, because you said they're HIV positive, but they're not undetectable. So it's only a 30% chance. So if any time on an HIV positive person where their pink parts are violated in a way, just like say if someone did brush their teeth and, you know, a person that's positive brushed their teeth rough and they made their gums bleed. And if their lover was, you know, HIV negative and they was, you know, kissing heavily, tongue kissing, and that blood from their mouth got into their mouth, that is a possible way to contract HIV from kissing. But that's only
pink parts.
Yes, pink parts, like your mouth, your butt, the coochie, your dingling, you know, the vulnerable spots inside on our body that can easily be opened.
Okay, that's a good point to raise. Then, if the person is undetectable, can they infect somebody?
So if you're undetectable, there is literally a 99% chance that you cannot infect anyone.
Okay, but then there's just a 1% chance that you can.
Okay, there's always that 1%. there is no stories of anyone that's, you know, that's untransmittable that has affected anybody. So that's a beautiful thing, and it's great. So we're gonna try to stick to that.
Okay. What about two people? Oh, I'm paused. You pause. Oh well, so we're good. Let's get it on. And
we've had those conversations as well.
What risk is involved? Like, okay, because there are two scenarios here. I'm paused, you pause, and one person is undetectable, one person is detectable. What's the risk factor there?
So the risk factor with two positive people dealing with each other in general, what we normally talk about, but just to get it out the way, one, never share each other meds. Like, because your medication is suited for your body, however it's suited for your body, and that's what, you know, your blood drawn to this conclusion, that's it. So never share each other meds, to one. Two, you never know if someone is, undetectable or not undetectable. So we don't try to enforce y'all having unprotected sex together because you never want, what is it? What's the word I want to say? We don't want your HIV to cross. We don't want to create any new strands. There you go. We don't want your strands to cross.
Okay.
Because that can happen, and that's how we get new strands of infections or diseases.
Okay. Are mutated instead?
Yes, we don't need no help with it mutating. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
They don't help it out at all. So just try your best to stay on top of your meds. Just have safe sex and be as free and protected as you need to be, and that can still be pleasurable.
Then I have this other one. This person is on this meds. This person is on another meds, and then they undetectable.
Yes.
Do the meds, if I'm trying to find a way to say this. Well, okay. So if this person nuts in this person, does anything happen with their meds in their system, whatever? Does anything happen?
So no, as long as both parties are undetectable, the meds will not affect the other person. It won't mess up with their body, with their medication. It won't mess with yours. So you're good to go as long as you're undetectable, untransmittable. You're good.
Okay. Let's see. So we've talked about healthy. We've talked about the stigma that's around it. What about the woman? Because you say you talk to some straight people, right?
Of course.
Okay. So a woman that is HIV positive and she gets pregnant, how does that affect the child? Or what's the process? What's that?
So most of the times for the process, if a woman chooses to be pregnant and she wants to become pregnant, all she have to do is just stay on top of her meds and make sure that she remains undetectable. So throughout that whole pregnancy, while she's doing what she needs to do, taking her vitamins, still taking her HIV meds. So as long as she remains undetectable, she can still have a full healthy baby that don't have to worry about coming out positive.
Okay. What about a man that is HIV positive with a woman that is negative and they're trying to have a child?
So there's a process that you can go through. Once you talk to your doctor, you can give them some of your sperm and they will let you know if your numbers, they let you know if your viral load for your sperm count, if it's high or low, and they let you know where it needs to be if you do choose to have a child with your sperm.
Okay.
And they let you, and if they need to change your medication, they'll change your medication, but it'd just be for you to make sure that you have a healthy child. So you don't have to worry about your child being born positive.
And she don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, she don't have to worry about being positive either. But they would definitely, either way, if one of the partners are negative, they would definitely prescribe PrEP to that partner. So they can make sure they have that additional barrier, so they can make sure they're covered on all aspects of that portion.
Okay. So it sounds like, from everything we talked about, it is possible. So the reality of it is you can live a healthy life.
You definitely can. You can still have babies. You can still be happy.
You can. There's not, the only prerequisite is you got to stay on your meds. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around that.
And that's it. And and I tell a lot of people, I say, don't even think of it like staying on your meds, because it's not the hardest thing. Because everyone, like, after 30, we all got to take meds for something. I mean, we got allergies, we got allergies, cholesterols, high blood pressure, acid reflux, diabetes. It's so much stuff out there. You got to take vitamins for if your sugar too low, it's so much. Like, most of my, outside of my HIV meds, all my vitamin pills are gummies. I take a gummy for everything, I love my gummies. I ain't taking no more pills. So the HIV pill is the only thing I'm gonna take.
Okay, so I think one thing I didn't ask you, what do you do? Because I did in the beginning when I was introducing you, I did say you're an activist, but I didn't really elaborate on it. Can you please elaborate?
Sure. What I do here in the DMV, I
And
dance, I
DMV,
model.
DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Virginia. Yes. Also included with Baltimore and West Virginia.
No.
But no, I dance, I model, I act. I'm a huge DMV activist.
Okay.
I do a lot of outreach and, overlooking stuff. I make sure, like, even I sit on boards, I make sure that, the LGBT is represented in the way it needs to be represented, that some of the eyes that are viewed out on us is viewed out in the right way instead of non-judgment way. I can't speak for everyone, but I do try to speak for those that's not at the table with me yet. I try my best to represent as many of the alphabets that I can, and hopefully no more letters are added, because I just feel like we're all individuals, honestly, and we don't need to be represented by a letter or a lifestyle.
But there's some people like
I know that if that's the world we live in, you have to identify as something. So I get it, I don't get it, but I get it. I accept
so
where
do you work with the religious community? Because the religious community, say choirs, for example, the children be in there singing.
Yeah, all up in there.
The children are all up in there.
They need us.
Somehow they stay under that covering. And where there's ignorance, then that's where issues fester. So
yeah.
do you ever work with religious communities or religious organizations to educate and inform?
If I'm at any time I'm invited into their household, yes, I work with anybody. I spoke in many different churches here in the DMV area. So, because I let everybody know myself, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in a God, not just the God. I don't know if he or she is a man or woman. I just believe in a spirited divinity. So it's just like, the earth is my healthness. I'm a Mother Earth child, but I definitely believe in a higher being,
Are you flower like the 70s with your dashiki and your rolls?
Back in my days.
Okay. So last question for you. You are on social media, I'm assuming?
Of course.
So you're on social media, you have a website and stuff?
So I do not have a website. I'm actually working on a website now since I'm becoming my own entity, I guess they'll say. And so, that it'd be easier for people to book me for things like this.
So I will definitely put all your social media information in the description part of this video. But one thing I would like you to say as, I guess, a nugget of truth is for people who are struggling, who just found out that, I'm HIV positive. And my world is coming to an end. I can't tell my family because my family is just going to chop my head off. And so I'm going to stay here by myself. To them.
So what I say to most people, that could never actually come out to their family, or that can't come out due to religious purposes, or that just simply feel they can't come out because, their life is in danger. All I can do is tell you that, you are not alone. You are not alone. You will never be alone. And there is help somewhere if you do know where to look for it.
Okay. Reach out to you. You're open to reaching out to people, right?
You can always reach out to me. I have people from so many different states, even from over the UK, that even read something I was in or saw a video that I was a part of or a commercial. And, they reach out to me in social media, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not there, but what you need, I will hear your story. And then I'm going to find some help for you in your area. And I will hold that person accountable. Whoever I reach out to, that's going to reach out to you, I'm going to hold them accountable and make sure that they took the necessary steps they needed to take to make sure you got everything that you needed to get.
Well, thank you for the conversation, Strawberry. It was
no problem at all. Thank you for having me.
And that was my interview with Strawberry. I think we covered everything we possibly could cover regarding being HIV positive and every myth and every stigma and yada 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 yada. But if you have any additional questions, concerns, need information, just check the description portion of this video, or try to have as many links as we can add in there, as many links to resources that we can add in there. And of course, his social media info, I'll put it in there too. So if you need someone to talk to ask questions, encouragement, address phobias, myths, and all, reach out to you. It's a new day, it's a new age. Living in fear, living in phobia, living in with myths. It's we got to debunk it. We got to debunk it. You can possibly live a healthy life, so why not live a healthy life? And of course, click like, comment, subscribe, and of course support. The PayPal link and CashApp info will be in the description. Hey, we always want support. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day, guys.